flight was cancelled, leaving travelers stranded overnight in terminals and stalled trains. Across the Alps, avalanche danger jumped to critical levels, forcing mountain communities into emergency mode. Tonight, we revisit this unfolding crisis, not as a distant European headline, but as a powerful reminder of how quickly extreme weather can cripple modern infrastructure. This is the story of a storm that arrived without warning, moved with brutal speed, and reshaped an entire region in less than 24 hours. The storm's impact sweep was immediate and unforgiving. By dawn, Munich, normally a well-oiled transportation hub, was brought to a complete standstill. Airport crews were overwhelmed as 8 to 12 inches of heavy snow buried runways faster than plows could clear them. What began as a temporary suspension of flights quickly escalated into a full shutdown, lasting through Sunday morning. Inside the terminals, thousands of passengers lined hallways wrapped in blankets, charging their phones and searching for updates that never seemed to arrive. But the paralysis didn't stop at the airport. All incoming and outgoing trains at Munich Central Station were halted, leaving commuters stuck on board for the entire night. Some families slept in unheated rail cars, while others walked miles through snow-choked streets after buses, trams, and several subway lines were forced offline. Across Bavaria, the storm toppled trees like matchsticks. Downed power lines left entire towns in the dark as utility crews battled ice-covered roads to restore electricity. Police logged over 350 emergency calls within hours, ranging from multi-vehicle crashes to stranded drivers trapped on rural highways. Farther south, the Austrian Alps reported up to 20 inches of new snow overnight, triggering avalanche alerts and shutting down major mountain routes. Europe hadn't just been hit by snow, it had been overwhelmed. As the storm tightened its grip, scenes of confusion and exhaustion spread across southern Germany and its neighboring countries. In Munich, entire rail platforms filled with stranded passengers who had nowhere to go. Some had been stuck on immobile trains for over 10 hours, wrapped in coats and scarves as temperatures dipped into the low 20s degrees Celsius. The local transit authority confirmed that no buses or trams were operating, leaving thousands without a way home. Inside the airport, long lines snaked past darkened departure boards showing row after row of canceled notices. Cafes ran out of hot food. Families camped beside their luggage as airport crews worked through the night shoveling snow that kept returning faster than they could remove it. The atmosphere was a mix of frustration, fatigue, and quiet disbelief. Across Bavaria, the situation turned even more dangerous. Downed trees, crushed cars, blocked rural roads, and knocked out power to more than 25,000 homes. Emergency crews described roads as sheet ice, with responders sliding toward accident scenes rather than driving to them. Police reported hundreds of incidents, many involving spinouts and jackknifed trucks stuck along icy stretches of highway. In Austria and Switzerland, the storm unleashed its own set of challenges as avalanche risk surged, forcing ski resorts and mountain villages to evacuate exposed areas. What should have been a calm, early winter weekend had transformed into a regional emergency. By Saturday afternoon, the storm had pushed southern Germany's infrastructure to the brink. Munich's rail hub, normally one of Europe's busiest, incidents overnight, everything from minor spinouts to overturned vehicles on icy roads. Many responders described conditions as near-zero visibility with blowing snow creating sudden whiteout walls. For thousands of residents, the crisis struck much closer to home. Heavy, wet snow pulled down tree limbs that crashed onto rooftops, shattered windows, and blocked apartment entrances. Families woke to the sound of structural creaks under the storm's weight, unsure whether their homes could withstand the pressure. In several rural districts, falling trees ripped down power lines, plunging entire neighborhoods into darkness in temperatures below 20 degrees. Travelers faced their own struggles. As conditions worsened, Europe's emergency infrastructure shifted into high gear. In Germany, Bavaria's crisis command activated hundreds of personnel to clear major highways and restore downed power lines. Utility teams worked through the night navigating ice-slicked roads to reach transformers buried under collapsed trees. Local officials urged residents to stay indoors, warning that even short trips could turn dangerous as freezing rain hardened into layers of black ice. Transportation agencies faced unprecedented strain. Munich Airport deployed its full fleet of plows, de-icers, and ground crews, yet the snow fell faster than machines could push it aside. The decision to cancel every flight until 6 a.m. Sunday marked the airport's longest full shutdown in years. Rail operators across southern Germany suspended routes entirely, sending thousands of messages to passengers advising them to reroute or postpone their travel. In Austria and Switzerland, avalanche control teams were dispatched to mountain corridors where 20-inch snowfalls threatened to unleash deadly slides. Controlled detonations were prepared along high-risk slopes to reduce pressure before natural avalanches could occur. Helicopter rescue units were placed on standby, grounded only by the intensity of the storm. Meanwhile, in the Czech Republic, police closed sections of the D1, one of the country's most critical highways, after a crash triggered a 12-mile backup. Emergency workers moved door to door through stranded vehicles, checking for medical needs as temperatures plunged. Across borders and languages, Europe's response carried one message. This storm was not routine. It demanded full mobilization. You said,
oh, there we go.
Through the overnight hours, the storm's full impact came into sharp focus. Entire transportation grids across 20-inch snow totals, with winds sweeping loose snow into deep, unpredictable drifts. Mountain pass closures stranded travelers, forcing many to take shelter in roadside lodges. In Switzerland, local governments issued urgent alerts as fresh snow overwhelmed plow crews. Key commuter routes around Zurich experienced shutdowns, leaving early morning commuters stuck in gridlock or abandoned on train platforms with limited service. By dawn, it was clear this was not simply a winter inconvenience. It was a full-scale regional freeze that tested every system and every community it touched. As daylight finally broke across Central Europe, the storm began to weaken, but the scars of the night remained everywhere. Buried. Highways, grounded flights, silent power grids, and communities cut off by walls of snow. What unfolded across Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and the Czech Republic wasn't just a winter storm. It was a stress test of everything modern societies rely on: transportation, communication, energy, and emergency response. For millions, this wasn't about canceled plans. It was about realizing how quickly a familiar landscape can turn hostile, how a single night of heavy snow can shut down a capital city or leave thousands stranded with no way home. As cleanup crews step in and power slowly returns, one message echoes across the region and beyond. Extreme weather is no longer rare, it's becoming routine. And whether it's Europe, the US, or anywhere else, the world is being forced to rethink what prepared really means. If events like this remind us of anything, it's that awareness matters. Preparation matters. Staying informed matters. So, if you want to follow more real-time extreme weather breakdowns, storms, quakes, floods, and everything in between, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.